By the time this video should be out, it will be Estelle's birthday. I've never been that big into birthday parties, and I'm still not. It's just that for some time now I really want to maybe just speak up and actually say something that I like talking about. And the best day for that would be Estelle's birthday, since I'm guessing that a lot of people probably expected me to do something special about her on this day. So yeah, this is why I love Estelle. At first glance, I assume that most people think things like he probably likes her because she's really cute, or because she's a crocodile, or because she's an AoE guard. Although right now I do also like her for these things, it wasn't as straightforward and clear to begin with. I could come up with so many reasons why I'm obsessed with her, but in the end there's only one thing that stands out above the rest for me. When I started playing Arknights, I wasn't a content creator. I didn't know anybody who played it. And during that time was also when I decided to completely step aside from social media and focus on putting my life together. So I was essentially all alone experiencing Arknights on my own way, without asking people, what should I do here? Who is better? What should I not do? Is it worth to level up this character? And don't get me wrong, it's totally fine to ask for help on things like these, especially as a brand new player who really just wants to get playing the real game. But for me it was providing this strange nostalgic feeling of exploration, learning and trial and error with no help from anybody. I honestly loved it. This is how I used to play games when I was a kid. I would just turn on my Wii, turn on my PS3 and try to collect every different costume in Little Big Planet, or become best friends with every Pokemon in Pokepark. And no, I couldn't complete any game I played ever because I was just one kid who didn't know what the internet was. I couldn't look up guides on how to beat specific worlds in Super Mario Galaxy or anything like that. I was just on my own, trying to learn everything and find my own way of beating things. And to me, this feeling came back to me after I started to experience Arknights. Because I was always just going online, figuring out what is the best thing to do and how to do it, rather than me exploring for myself and learning what I enjoy. It probably was a lot of luck that came into play too, since Arknights just happened to be one of the many games that I tried out during that time, and I decided to stick to it and give it an honest try. For about a day or two I started liking Shining, and then I went to Texas, but it was a bit, not really like, they weren't my favorites. They were just there. I liked them, they looked cool. And then here comes Estelle, breaking apart my office door and apologizing right after, with tears on her eyes. I was really shocked. I didn't expect something like that, especially after meeting such serious characters like Amia, Shining, and Texas. It was like it popped a bubble around me, like I just woke up from a dream. And it made me feel more intrigued at her character in specific. The more I listened to her and the more I looked at her, the more questions I had in my mind. Like, are those horns? But she's got a huge tail. So is she a dinosaur? Wait, what are those rocks on her head? And is she crying? It wasn't love at first sight. It was nothing like that. It was more like curiosity. The type of curiosity that made me want to look into this character more and learn who she is, how she talks and interacts with people, how she fights. And all that info is hidden away behind trust requirements. So that just meant that I had to keep playing the game normally, but add her to my teams and implement her into my strategies in order to know who she truly is. Time was passing and I would slowly get better at Arknights. I learned how to manage the base, I experimented with a lot of different strategies, and I was getting stronger and more knowledgeable about the game. And meanwhile all of this was happening, Estelle was also slowly leveling up, gaining more trust, and as time went on I would begin to learn more about her. And this is what I meant before with that nostalgic feeling, putting tons of time and effort into something without any help from anybody. It just made the whole experience so much more personal and enjoyable. And I felt close to what life used to be like before my obsession with social media and keeping up with everything around me. And to me it looked like it was the same case for Estelle too. No longer was it just me being a little idiot, struggling with everything, trying to learn and get stronger. It felt like I could share this feeling with someone else. Whether it was fictional or not, it didn't matter, because yeah, in reality I was alone, but I didn't feel alone. And so as her trust would slowly get higher and higher, I would learn that she is a crocodile who got infected, likely when she was growing up. Those horns and the originium crystals all over her head are the cause of neuropathy. They are mutations. Estelle fell into a terrible depression because of this, and it ruined her whole life, having such huge inconveniences that made her stand out too much. And because she's only a 4-star, the game doesn't tell you too much about her, so we can only assume what her life used to be like before Rhodes Island. Maybe she was bullied, targeted, or beaten up by people for having those strange horns on her head. Since those horns resemble kind of how Sargas look. Not exactly, but it's the closest thing, and she's from Sargon. Like everyone's a dumbass in there. Nobody knows anything. If they see something that looks dangerous, they're going to kill it. But yeah, that could explain the scars on her stomach and on her nose. It says on her files that she completely shut off all social interactions with everyone. She likely hated herself during that time. And for all we know, those scars could also just be self-harm. Eventually, Estelle arrived to Rhodes Island, seeking treatment, and her only way to pay for the treatment would be to work for us, since she would never have a chance to be employed by anyone else. And that led to her deciding to use her incredible physical strength as an Archosauria to help us in battle and pay off her medical treatment this way. Some time passed after her arrival, and she tries to open up more to people once again, but she's still in a constant state of anxiety. And slowly, after not only getting medical treatment, she also gets psychological treatment to help her get over her anxiety. And it's the doctor who does that. Essentially, I had a part in helping Estelle grow as a person. I helped her deal with all her worries and get her used to her new life. And when I realized that, they include the doctor in and made them basically her therapist, I knew for sure that Estelle would become one of my favorite characters. It just felt way too personal. And the lore wasn't all read and done in one day. This all came with time, where both me and Estelle would grow as people together. And then, as I had finally maxed out her trust and sent her to Elite 2, I got full access to all her lore and voice lines. And that sealed the deal. She develops as a character a lot. She goes from someone who hates herself and the way she looks to the point where she completely shuts off from all social interactions, to someone who comes to love herself, to someone that wants to meet new people, and to finally smile again. Even in her voice lines, whether you use Japanese, Chinese or English, you will be able to tell that she ends up being happier and truly appreciates all the work that you have done for her. This is why I love Estelle. Happy birthday.
You're always so kind to me. I'm so happy.